Okay, so when I say Italy, what pops into your head? I'm guessing it's the Colosseum, right? Or maybe cruising down the canals in Venice, the art in Florence? That's the Italy we all know, the one on the postcards. But today, we're going to go beyond that. We're going to uncover a whole different side of the story. And trust me, it's pretty surprising.
First things first, let's just acknowledge the sheer scale of things. Tourism in Italy isn't just big, it's a monster of an industry. We're talking about a projected contribution of almost 238 billion euros to the country's GDP just for this year. It's a global powerhouse, and there's a very good reason why. And that reason, overwhelmingly, is culture. Get this, over 60% of all tourist stays in Italy are because people want to soak in its incredible art, its history, its heritage. This isn't just some nice-to-have backdrop, it is the absolute heart of why people go there.
But here's a question for you. What if the most exciting things happening in Italy today aren't about preserving the past, but about inventing the future? What if that innovative spirit from, say, the Renaissance is just as alive right now? Well, that's what we're going to explore. Let's dive in, starting with a field Italy has always been famous for, but with a totally new twist.
So we're starting with something Italy is known for the world over, its healthy lifestyle. But this isn't just about pasta and sunshine. It's about taking that tradition of well-being and looking at it through a modern, scientific lens.
You see, the Italian Mediterranean diet is so much more than a collection of recipes. It's a full-on health strategy, and it's built on these really simple but incredibly powerful ideas. Start your meals with veggies and olive oil to help manage your appetite. Get plenty of anti-inflammatory fish. Prioritize fiber with whole grains. And, of course, limit the stuff that causes inflammation. It's a formula that's been tested by time.
And the results, they're honestly staggering. New research is showing that eating this way can slash the symptoms of psoriasis, a really tough chronic skin condition, by up to 75%. I mean, that's not just a minor improvement. That's a life-changing impact. And it's powered by food that basically acts like medicine.
And this success story goes way beyond just diet. Just look at the decade between 2010 and 2019. Italy saw a really significant drop in premature deaths from chronic diseases. So the key takeaway here is that it's not just one thing. It's a whole system working together. Strong public health programs, lifestyle, and the foundation of a universal healthcare system.
All right, now we're going to shift gears. Big time. From public health, we're jumping to the absolute frontiers of modern exploration. And Italy is pushing the boundaries in places you would probably never, ever guess.
First, picture this. We're in the Gulf of Naples. We're going down, way down, nearly half a kilometer beneath the surface of the waves. Scientists down there just found something that's making them rethink everything they thought they knew about the Mediterranean. And then, in the blink of an eye, we're going to leap from the bottom of the ocean all the way up into Earth's orbit. It's this incredible range from the deep sea to deep space that really shows you the scope of Italian science and ambition today.
So what did they find down there? A massive, thriving reef of what are called deep-sea white corals. Honestly, nobody thought an ecosystem this huge could even exist here. It's a truly exceptional find, a hidden natural treasure, and it's already sparked calls to make sure it's protected. Now back on land near Rome, a brand new 100 million euro space-smart factory is coming online. And what's so cool about this is what it represents, a strategic move toward technological independence. This place is going to use AI and robotics to churn out up to 100 satellites a year. That's huge. It solidifies Italy's role as a major player in Europe's most important space programs like Galileo and Copernicus.
But this push for innovation, it isn't just about flashy tech or exploring far-off places. It's also tied to something very, very Italian, a long tradition of creating progress that's really centered on people.
Let me tell you about this machine. It's the Olivetti Programma 101. It was unveiled way back in 1965, and you could absolutely argue it was the world's first desktop personal computer. It was revolutionary. NASA bought them to help with the Apollo missions. Even Hewlett-Packard had to pay Olivetti royalties because their first PC was so similar to this design.
But here's the wild part. While this thing was a huge hit in America, the reaction back home in Italy was, well, a little less enthusiastic. This quote from one of Olivetti's own executives is just perfect. It shows this fascinating tension, a groundbreaking Italian invention being celebrated all over the world, but met with a lot of skepticism at home. This focus on human-centered innovation extends to society too. I want you to meet Sofia Corradi, who's known as Mama Erasmus. She was an Italian professor who, after her own degree wasn't recognized, came up with an idea for a program that would let students study all across Europe. But for her, it was more than that. She called it a peace project.
And her journey was a marathon, not a sprint. It all started when her American master's degree was rejected in Italy. So she drafted a proposal back in 1969. And for nearly 20 years, she fought for this idea, advocating all over the continent, until finally, in 1987, the Erasmus program was officially born. Just think about that. One person's incredible persistence created a legacy that has touched millions of lives.
And you can see that focus on people really reshaping the modern Italian workplace today. Worker happiness is actually on the rise all across the country, driven by things like more flexibility and a real focus on wellness. But the most interesting part? The biggest jumps in happiness are happening in the South, where new investment is starting to challenge those old economic divides and create brand new opportunities.
So when you start to put all these different pieces together, from public health to space exploration, from forgotten technology to social change, a completely new picture of Italy starts to take shape. It's this other Italy, right? One that's a leader in public health, a hub for high-tech exploration, a quiet pioneer of the digital age that we all live in, and a real driver of progress for society and the workplace. It's just a much richer, more complex story that's sitting right there just beneath the surface of the country we thought we knew so well.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. If a country as famous, as studied as Italy can hold so many surprising stories of modern innovation, it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden stories are out there, all around us, just waiting to be discovered?